As the title and as the welcome screen already suggests, this is going to be an online open day concerning the image processing and computer vision Erasmus Mundus joint master's program. This is going to be the first such event for the 2025 intake of the program. My name is Daniel, and I will be your moderator for today. By the way, I'm actually the member of the International Relations Office at the Peter Catholic University. So thank you again for choosing us and joining us today. We are delighted to share plenty of information with you about this wonderful program. It is implemented by 3 renowned European universities: the Pázmány Péter Catholic University in Hungary, the Autonomous University in Madrid, Spain, and the University of Bordeaux in France. As you can see in the overview, today we are going to talk about plenty of things. The structure and technical content of the IPCVai program, as well as details about the application, finances, and the available scholarships as well. We also invited current students of the program to share their experiences and talk you more about what they managed to gather so far. Moreover, we will be having Q&A sections as well. We will take into consideration those questions that you have sent us in advance. If you have any further questions about topics that you feel were not covered in details during the presentation, you will have the opportunity to put your questions in the Q&A chat panel of this webinar. And my colleagues will do their best to answer them right now or right away, or later via email. And you can also contact us if you need any more answers. Based on the registration data, I see that some of you have already started the application procedure, and there are some people who already managed to finalize that. That's great. But there are also some other people who are just considering making the final step towards success. And yeah, it may be one step. The first step will be just to, submit your application to the IPCV program, because it's a prestigious one. So we sincerely hope that the upcoming 90 minutes, approximately 90 minutes, will be beneficial for you. And those tips, hints, or useful pieces of information that we are sharing will be beneficial for you to make your decision and submit your application. Before we proceed, actually, we have just a few technical requests or recommendations. These recommendations mean or are meant to ensure that the webinar goes as smoothly as possible. We would be glad if you could include your full name and country in your login name. You can turn on your camera, but turn off your microphones, and please keep them muted throughout the event. And as I mentioned already, you can use the chat channel to ask questions. Feel free to ask anything there. And without further ado, I would like to move, or we would like to move to the first major block of our online open day. And I would like to invite Professor Kristóf Karacs, Vice Dean for International Affairs at the Faculty of Information Technology and Bionics at the Pázmány Péter Catholic University. to deliver his welcome speech and to give a general outline about the program.
Thank you very much, and welcome everyone. It's really a great thing that we can welcome you, even if not in person, but online. And thank you for your interest in the program. These three universities are really committed to provide a quality program, and we've been doing this for quite some years now. We do have decent experience in supervising and educating students, and we are really proud of all our graduates so far who have already spread out in the world, both in academia and in industry. Our primary goal is to give you a master level introduction and also advanced studies into computer vision and image processing, everything that is related to machine vision. So I hope most of you are actually familiar with the topic, and that's why you're interested, at least at the application level. We have so many directions in life where computer vision can be helpful, and it is being built into more and more technologies, including cars, transportation, surveillance, or any kind of personal devices. We can move to the next slide. The application areas include not only strictly technological parts, but also healthcare, which is one of the main subfields in computer vision, which we usually refer to as medical imaging. And it is really beneficial for the whole society. One particular aspect of computer vision is 3D vision. 3 dimensions, as our world is 3-dimensional, but processing 3-dimensional vision is more complex than just processing 2D camera images or video flows, and also requires different models. The advancements in computer vision are very rapid. This is just a slight illustration of how the objective has changed throughout time. And this is just probably a bit more than a decade now. So while previously image processing mostly intended to only classify images, then it moved on to detecting objects in the images, which are denoted by the bounding boxes on the second image from the left. Then semantic segmentation became the standard, where each and every pixel is labeled with the appropriate category. And then later on, not only the category labels appear on images in instance segmentation, but individual instances of the same category obtain different labels. We can move to the next slide. In this slide, you can see the most important information about the program. 4 semesters, 120 credits, so 30 credits each semester, and 3 educational semesters at the 3 partner universities. And then in the 4th semester, writing the master's thesis together with completing your internship. And after graduation, the main career paths lead to both industry and academia, as I mentioned already. And this can include either research positions and PhD studies, as well as just R&D development positions. Please move to the next slide. So the primary objectives that we have when creating the curriculum were making the students innovators in terms of being creative experts, to be able to work on various problems related to computer vision, and to provide a comprehensive basis in terms of theoretical knowledge that will not expire after a few years. And third, give you modern ethical managerial skills in terms of presentation and other soft skills. The first semester is spent in Budapest, Hungary, at the Pázmány University. The second one, the whole cohort transfers over to Madrid. The third semester is in Bordeaux. And for the internship and master thesis, you can actually pick your location anywhere in the world, which most of our students actually do. So for the fourth semester, although for the first three semesters, the cohort is fairly integrated and can support one another. For the fourth semester, if we put the locations where people are, we get a very nice map that spreads not only in Europe, but sometimes even outside Europe's boundaries.
Thank you, Professor Karacs, for your kind introduction and for the outline or for outlining the program. Now we will proceed with three presentations, actually. All will be held by the heads of the program at each of the three partner universities. It's still a reminder that if you have any questions concerning the academic content of the program during the presentations, please use the chat channel, and the colleagues, my colleagues are doing their best to answer these questions, either right now or either later on via email. So once again, I would like to invite Professor Karacs to give a presentation of the IPCV AI program at the Pázmány Péter Catholic University.
Thank you. So as I mentioned, the first semester is spent in Budapest at the Pázmány University. And the Faculty of Information Technology and Bionics has a very special core competence towards bio-inspired computing, which spans through all of our master programs, not only the IPCV AI program. These include sensory processing, which means to try to do most of the computation close to the sensors where the data is created. It also involves architectures specially intended to perform these sensory computations, sometimes closely integrated with the sensors, other times just being close to the sensors. But in all circumstances, usually parallel computing is a key factor in these architectures. And the other very important aspect is low computational power or computational efficiency. Please move to the next slide. Thank you. So about the subjects in the first semester, the core courses include basic image processing algorithms, which gives you a thorough foundation from the concepts of a frame or edge detection through various transformations in the field of image processing. This is mostly involving classic image for the area. Another course is data mining and machine learning, which is also a foundational course, providing you with introduction to how a data mining pipeline or a knowledge handling pipeline is built up, including all sorts of basic machine learning techniques. This also includes neural networks, but just very superficially. There's another course called Fundamentals of Deep Learning, which actually gives you more fundamentals into the learning theory and some practical aspects of tools that you can use in programming for doing machine learning in practice, including, for example, PyTorch, which is the core engine most researchers use for computer vision. And there's also an introduction to tutored research and development, which courses actually are, this is only an introductory course where you are preparing for your research work to be done in the upcoming 2 semesters, and choose a topic that you will be working on. I mentioned sensory processing, which includes the second course block, including multimodal sensor fusion and navigation, and some elective courses that you can see here, including parallel computing architectures, high-level synthesis methods, and on FPGAs, which are special hardware devices that you can put your code on. And further courses include medical signal processing, and in the field of mathematics and programming, we have numerical analysis and design patterns. All of these later mentioned courses are electives, so you don't need to take them all. Just students need to take altogether 8 ECTS worth of courses. Then a compulsory course in Budapest is sports, and optionally you can also study Hungarian or choose another language throughout your studies. So I think I completed most of these things. I mentioned shortly what the content for the basic image processing course was, but here you can see some details, including image enhancement, texture, segmentation methods, or image descriptors. So also for the other core courses in data mining, knowledge discovery process, basic algorithms, including decision trees and support vector machines, and some other important basic architectures, evaluation of the models that are learned. And as a closure, we also talk about ensemble methods, ensemble approaches, such as boosting or bagging, and data transformations, as well as hyperparameter tuning and some special tools for these purposes. And for the fundamentals of deep learning, in addition to the neural network basics and optimization techniques, as I mentioned, we teach PyTorch and some novel properties and techniques that arose in recent years when you do deep learning. And shortly about the TRDP, which you, as I mentioned, you start in your semester in Budapest, but then after being able to select your topic and write a short specification or proposal on what you intend to work together with your supervisors, in the second semesters, you learn about the state of the art and start experimenting, whereas in the third semester, you do most of the implementation part of your research and development project. As mentioned earlier, the master thesis is mostly done together with the internship, either in industry or an academic lab. And the most important aspects when you develop your thesis are not only to have some theoretical foundations, but also to design something in yourself, which the TRDP is also preparing you for. This is something you might have already done in your bachelor thesis, but of course, the level required is higher for a master thesis, and we do look into how much original work you have, at least in the design. But for those who are willing to do research, you can also involve novel scientific results if there are any that you find. Finally, you have to write your report. And in your internship report, you also have to mention what teamwork was involved in this last semester of yours, which at companies is fairly natural to do. They will involve you. And in academic labs, you also have to relate to other colleagues to be able to make use of their results.
Thank you very much, Professor Karacs, for the informative introduction. As you can see already, a lot of things are going on in the first semester of the training program. And now please listen to the presentation of Professor Jesus Pescos, Associate Professor of the Autonomous University of Madrid, who will speak about the second semester of the IPCVai program. Professor Pescos, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Daniel, and thank you all for joining. Very briefly, well, I'm coordinating this second semester at UAM in Madrid, a lovely and sunny semester to spend here in Madrid. The content of this semester, as you surely expect, builds on the courses that you have or you will be delivered in the first semester. So we have first hardware-oriented course, this high-performance computing for deep learning, which, as here we indicate, focuses on hardware for machine learning, on memory bandwidth and low precision computation, and on massively parallel architectures. Then, in parallel, we have this, I would say, the main block of this semester. Once you have followed the courses on deep learning, introduction to deep learning, and the course on machine learning, then we deepen into deep learning for visual signal processing. These are two courses which jointly include content on several topics. First, on architectures for content analysis and generation, then learning strategies, social and environmental challenges, which are nowadays key for artificial intelligence understanding, and finally, applications of these techniques to the IPCV, to the image processing and computer vision domain. Then we go on with a course not specifically on deep learning techniques. You should all be aware that this master, one of the differences respect to other master level programs that are highly focused on artificial intelligence and deep learning, we keep here a high level or a high amount of content on image, on design-based image processing, let's say traditional image processing, because we assume it's key for you to be able to modify learning models and so on. So in this line, this course, 3D visual signal processing, deepens into 3D theory and practical aspects of camera models, calibration, multi-camera stabs, point cloud reconstruction, which you should be aware of if you want to deepen into any, let's say, pose estimation or 3D reconstruction applications, even if you use learning models to do it. Then we have a course which is called Initiation or Introduction to Research, in which you will be guided into how to confront a research project, how you should do that. And additionally, we include here some soft skill courses, a specific workshop on writing and presentation skills, and also a set of invited or guest scholars from academia and industry, which will, every year we change them, which will try to guide you on the most trending and innovative and recent advances in academia and industry in IPCV. And finally, as my colleague Christoph has indicated you, the Tutor Research and Development Project 1, it continues the project you have in couples selected in the first semester, and here you develop a first approach to your project, trying to implement state-of-the-art approaches. Daniel, please, next slide. Well, and just to finalize, a very brief explanation of the schedule you're expected to have here. Normally, we begin here the 1st of February in order to help you all to get accommodation in Madrid. During 3 months and a half, we have the regular mandatory courses. You are expected also to follow Spanish language courses, and we have these soft skills short courses. Then the exams at the end of May, and at the end of the semester, we also organize very nice, we have organized it for years, Industrial Day, in which we invite around between 10 and 15 companies that will show you all internship opportunities for the final semester. So that's more or less the explanation of this second semester in Madrid at UAM.
Thank you, Professor Bescos, for this thorough and deep presentation about the second semester of the program. I can already see that in the Q&A panel there are already questions. I just want to persuade you that in case of you have any questions towards the professors, feel free to ask them in the QA section. And now I will invite Professor Fabien Baldacci from the University of Bordeaux to talk about the third semester of the program. So we are now into the second year, how this is going to look like.
Thanks, Daniel, and thanks everyone for joining and being at least interested by our program. So indeed, I'm from Bordeaux, where we spend the beginning of the second year and the third semester. It coordinates this semester and also the whole program. So you saw that during the first year, you have already a broad range of knowledge learned about hardware, about image processing, about deep learning. And now we will focus in this very last semester on real implementation and focusing on computer science and make real software with all this knowledge. So all the lessons except one are made by teachers from the computer science department. You will be given lesson by the researchers from the computer science lab, which is Labri. You can move to the next slide. I think it's more interesting. And we will continue with some computer vision course with mainly 3 topics. We will discuss how to build images, especially in 3D, because for the 2D part, you already deal with this a lot in the first year, but We will have a dedicated course on medical imaging, which are 3D reconstructed image on regular grids, compared to what you will learn in Madrid with the point clouds. So here we will focus on medical systems, 3D medical system, and how to make better medical images and how to process them, how to make analysis, and so on. We will then have two topics about deep learning and artificial intelligence. One focusing on the networks and how to use them properly, which network for which purpose, and how to deal with all the loss and everything. And one about explainable artificial intelligence, which is a quite hot topic. A lot of people are using artificial intelligence, but as master student, we think you should really understand what you are manipulating. It will make a big difference compared to other classical master programs that just use artificial intelligence and get results, but don't really know how to understand it, and thus don't really know how to improve the results. So explainable artificial intelligence is a very hot topic in research, to understand where the results come from which layer, from which part of all the networks, in order to be able to improve them and get better result or more lightweight network. Finally, there will be a topic quite new in the program, but that's necessary. We are dealing a lot with imaging, a lot with image processing and computer vision and image analysis, but we also offer a course about how to display those images, how to interact with the 3D images, with 3D segmentation, including some part in augmented and virtual reality. So you will have a dedicated course based on Unity and all the techniques for 3D rendering and interaction. I think that's fine for those courses. And along with this, we have what we call translational course, still linked with artificial intelligence or computer vision, but more with some other kind of skills. So first, there is another topic which is of important, is the sustainability of artificial intelligence and all the impact on society. So you will have a dedicated course on this that can include also the bias analysis that can be part of all those artificial intelligence model and data. So there will be a course which is called this, maybe it will be called sustainability of artificial intelligence, to represent better what is inside. You understood that you need to apply all this, and you are with the computer science department. So you will have a course dedicated to software development. The goal is to move you away from all the Jupyter notebook you will have in the first year, or all the, classical exercise. You have to learn and understand the model and the techniques. And here we want you to be able to make real software from scratch, or from just the use of appropriate libraries. So there will be a course focusing on software development. You will do the last part of the TRDP. So you arrive in Bordeaux with a strong knowledge about the state of the art of your topic. You've learned the problem, you learn the state of the art, you have some ideas, and here you will have to implement those ideas, get some results, and be able to analyze those results, whether they will be good or not, but analyze them, propose some perspective, maybe new ideas. So that's the last part of the TRDP, mainly focusing on the D part with a scientific analysis of what you get and giving some perspective for the futures. And there is a small event to continue with the industrial day in Madrid, but with more longer presentation, many companies, researchers that will come to present and give perspective about what you can do if you plan to make an academic career, career in the industry and entrepreneurship. Also, so there will be many events all along the semester with many guests from academic and industrial partners. Okay, I think that's fine. In short, one last slide to briefly resume, because the list of the course, I guess you can find it on the website, but our main goal in this semester is you have a lot of theory, you know a lot of things, and we want you to be able to develop really real software that are nicely built to solve problem that you will see from many presentations from the company that are useful everywhere. Computer vision, artificial intelligence is everywhere, and we need people able to make software with this to solve a lot of things with research-oriented application or industrial-oriented application. We in Bordeaux, we mix you for around half of the course. You will be mixed with the computer science student, which have maybe more knowledge than you in computer science and software development and less than you in computer vision. So that's a good mix to learn quickly and to benefits usually to both of you. Even if you can maybe think, okay, it's computer science, software development, but it's really science. So we are focusing a lot in a scientific approach in developing software, and it's really not information technology, it's computer science. So everything we ask you to do and everything we ask you to analyze, it's always with a scientific approach, especially in the analysis of the result you will get. We have a big building full of computer room with all the necessary hardware and environment for you to make all your project. We have if you don't want to use GitHub, we have our own server with all the tools for continuous integration. We have 40 machines dedicated for our master in IPCV and Imagine Sound with appropriate GPU to train the model you will have to deal with during your master. We have even more machine in the building you can use also, but you should not be worried about this. You will be able to do all the project in good condition. And I think that's the short overview, and you can ask all the questions you have. I don't think I have another slide. Yes, this is the time for question.
Thank you, Fabian. Thank you, Professor Bardacci, for sharing this. I think each and every participant of this webinar can already have a small insight into how demanding this program can be. So I hope that everybody, so that the applicants will still keep on registering and applying for programs, despite the fact that it is very demanding, but it's a wonderful and very beneficial program. Now we are having a few minutes to answer academic related questions, and I just want to ask the professors not to leave the conversation, because I will need their help. This is how we are going to proceed. I will project and read out the previously asked questions by the students, and basically whoever wants to answer it can just proceed with giving the details. So let's start with the first one. Who is an ideal candidate for the program? What key factors should a candidate hold to be considered? Could one of you, I'm asking the professors.
You want me to answer?
Yeah, Fabian, go on, please.
Okay. An ideal candidate is first a highly motivated candidate. I would say that's the first point, who followed in computer science or any engineering bachelor degree with, of course, good results or very good results if you expect a scholarship, and really motivated, that's the key point, really motivated by computer vision problem and or artificial intelligence, but really with a strong interest in computer vision, image analysis problem, or even hardware related to this. But the key point for me is the strong motivation to be able to follow all the program with good results.
I think you already answered part of the second question already. It
How
goes
many
like, how
students?
many students per year are selected for the IPCVI program, and what are the main considerations? I think you told about the main considerations. It's like how many students per year are selected?
We have around 26 places with around 20 scholarships per year.
And
I have
does the
nothing
IPCV...
much to say.
Yeah, oh, sorry, I didn't want to
No,
interrupt.
no, I don't think there is much to say.
Does the IPCVai give students a research topic, or should they select it on their own?
IPCVI, you mean the teachers? If
The program and the teachers,
they
yes.
cannot select it on their own. They can select it on their own with the, I guess the question is for the TRDP. I don't know what research topic means except in TRDP, but for the TRDP, we provide areas with potential supervisor. The student interested in an area should discuss with the supervisors to define a topic that will be suitable for the TRDP. I hope it answered the question. We
I
have
think
no
so.
other research topic.
I think it was somehow related to the tutor research development project, or either the final thesis
For the
report.
final, I mean, for the master thesis, we don't choose anything. But the student can choose a supervisor anywhere in the world. Like we said, we didn't present the semester 4, but the semester 4 is an internship that can be done in a research lab with a research supervisor on any subject that is related to computer vision. We validate all the subject, so it should really be suitable for the program. So it should be related with what you've learned, but it will be with a supervisor from a research lab, and we will agree on the topic. The student, they cannot come and do research on their own. There is always a supervisor, either for TRDP or for the master thesis.
Thank you. We do have more questions coming, or actually these questions already were submitted. That has been already mentioned or asked. Yeah, move on. Yeah. What programming languages should I learn or review in order to prepare for the IPCVai program?
I can continue. If no one else wants to answer, I can answer everything.
Feel free to do so.
Python a lot, C++, and any other command language can always be useful. But in image processing nowadays, C++ and Python are the key languages, and these are the one we used in the program.
I think the next question was already partly covered. I'm studying computer science. What skills do I need to have to join the IPCV master's program?
The good mix is, of course, some computer science, some signal processing, and some mathematical skills. It depends what is inside the computer science diploma. But computer vision and image processing is about, yes, computer science, signal processing, and mathematical modelization of the problem, a lot of linear algebra or something like that. But many computer science visual programming include it. So,
is it necessary to have a professional experience in the field of the program?
it's not necessary. It's a good plus. But if the question is it necessary? The answer is no. But yes, if you have some experience, it's a good point, but it's not a problem not to have any. We have a lot of candidates that just get graduated and want to continue with a master degree, which is quite normal.
Haha, this is a bonus question. How demanding is the workload? I think I already hinted that one.
Yes, the workload, we are following the Bologna process. We are using the European ECTS. I don't say we can strictly consider this, but that's a good estimation. 1 year is 60 ECTS. 60 ECTS is something like 1,600 or 1,800 hours of work during the 2 semesters. This is just the European system, and for sure, for some credits are easier to get than others, but also depending on the profile of the people. Some have some facilities in some courses and not on some other courses. It's to get a master degree, there is quite an important workload. For this master program, there is definitely an important workload, but it's just normal to get the knowledge so we can ensure at the end this is a very highly qualified student. And we can ensure you will be very satisfied if you get this student.
Thank you. We have more questions. What devices are available in the laboratories of the 3 partner universities? That's a tough one.
Yes, especially, at least in Bordeaux, you cannot access the device from the lab as a student. The lab is protected, data is protected, except if you make your internship in the research lab, you will access to the device given to the student, which are already quite important and really with high quality devices. But no, you don't have access to the lab if you are not working for the lab. But I don't know for PPCU and UAM.
I don't know if other professors from Spain and from Hungary are with us still. They might have something to add to this point.
Yes, Daniel. Yes, well, at UAM, I mean, the lab where the teaching is delivered, every personal computer includes a GPU, not a top GPU, but you can have access to it. And additionally, several of the research groups involved in the master program do have clusters of higher level GPUs, which of course can be used not by our students, but by students developing an internship, a TRDP, or a master thesis.
Thank you. Actually, we calculated with 10 minutes for the questions, and time flies by so quickly. As you can see, we have quite many other questions, but my suggestion would be to pick at least now the final two. Let's try to answer these. And for those of you who submitted questions in advance for us, we strongly suggest to use the Q&A chat panel, or to send us the questions later via email. I think we have time for these two final questions. What is the online entrance exam interview about?
Would you like me to address these questions?
Yes, please, Christoph, go on.
So the online entrance exam contains background questions where we try to understand the applicant's motivation for joining the IPCVai program, then relevant experience, typically computer vision related projects, but other engineering or electronics related things can also be important here. Future plans and some scientific questions related to basic understanding, where you don't need to prepare specifically for these. We're just testing basic engineering understanding and approaches. What level did you acquire during your bachelor? And then related to the other question, what proof of work experience do we accept? So signed letter from your employer is absolutely okay. We do touch upon work experience during the interview, especially if it is relevant for the program or to the program topic.
Thank you very much for the questions, for submitting the questions, and also for answering them. And we will continue our presentation or webinar today with the student perspective. Actually, we invited for the second part of our event some students who are already decided to apply, and they have successfully applied to this program, and they are now part of one of the cohorts currently studying on this program. If I'm not mistaken, we have here today with us Monica Vajai and Alejandro Alonso Garcia. They are both second-year students of the IPCV Master's program. And after finishing the current semester in Bordeaux, they will be about to start their last one, which includes the internship and the writing of the thesis work. So if you are here with us, the floor is yours.
Okay, so hello everybody. As Daniel said, we are just students in our second year, and we kind of wanted to give like our perspective in everything that has been said and what we think it will have been useful for us to know before the master. So like so far we've spoken about what's covered in each semester, and for us we kind of agree, like in the end the 3 semesters, like the knowledge we get is kind of, I would say, like a tree. So it's like we have Budapest, in which we learn like the most fundamental part of everything, like, and all the knowledge you have to have in order to build all the things you have to know over them. And mainly there we have like short tests, and then in the end like some final exams that are oral. Then in Madrid, it's kind of like you build up in what you've learned in Budapest, and then you apply it. So we have like way more projects, and most of the workload in Madrid, I would say, it goes into projects. And it's kind of helpful to end up using everything you've learned. And you also have new theory in Madrid. So you get a deep understanding in all the computer vision, AI, in the end things you are learning there. And from there, then you go to Bordeaux, in which we have kind of like the feeling that we are learning like more like specialized things. So you can apply everything you've learned previously, but in different fields. And it's like each one of these fields is one of the subjects you have in Bordeaux. Like obviously there are exceptions to these things. So there are subjects that are different in each semester, but overall, I would say it works this way. And as for what do you have to learn before it, like we think it really depends on your background, because in our cohort, we have people that had studied more mathematical or physics bachelors. In my case, I'm come more like for computer science. So it really depends. Like we will say that programming is something that it's really helpful to know. And if you are not really, if you don't have like a strong programming background, it surely is going to be helpful. Depending on the subject, you use one language or another. But as far as you know how to program, I think it should be quite fairly easy to move up, along them. I would say mainly we've used Python and MATLAB in some subjects, C++ in one, Java in another, but mainly Python, I would say. And then also the mathematical background can be really important. So linear algebra, numerical analysis, probabilistic and statistics. It's mainly what you have to know. And about everything computer vision related, you are not expected to know it beforehand, because in the end, the master is for learning it. So in Budapest, we have one subject that explain these kind of things, and then you go for that. So yeah, mainly I would say programming and mathematics is something that you don't have to be an expert, but you should have some background or prepare a little bit. But otherwise, I think the master is able to guide you in this knowledge, and you can learn in between.
Yeah, and hello everyone. I will talk about the administration part, because beside the learning, you have to be aware of the 3 different administration system of the countries. And with Pasman, the department is very helpful, so they can help you with any problem. But you should do it, like nobody will do instead of you. So it's very important that you should be aware, like what should you do, and then you can make questions. And it's also very important that all of the universities are familiar with the non-European paperwork. So because we also have a lot of non-European classmates, so they can help you with that one as well. In Madrid, it's a bigger university, so you don't have that much paperwork and you don't have that close relationship with this department. And in Bordeaux, I think we have the most paperwork here, but they are also very helpful, so don't worry about this part. Then you will get the info and then you should just follow it. And relating to the accommodation, like I think it's quite a main thing to how to find an accommodation in each of the countries. And Pazman is the first one. And we had a WhatsApp group before we entered into the, others came to Hungary. So they can have like, okay, I would like to, I don't know, live with you, and it's good to have some share apartments or like, flat. And for us in Madrid, it was quite hard to find an accommodation. We started in time, but in the end, we just found it in something in the last minute. And there are a lot of scams as well as in Budapest. So I advise you to book an accommodation through an agency, because that's more expensive, but at least you will have an accommodation. And then if you will go there, then you don't have to like worry about anything. And I think the most convenient thing is, like in Bordeaux, we have this residence, which is quite cheap, and like it's very easy to access and everybody got it. So I think the accommodation problem is more about Hungary and Spain. And I have seen that in the chat, a lot of people asked about the working part. Like we have some classmates who work during the master. One of them quit his job because he couldn't manage both of it. And the other one is also struggling, like he had to miss a lot of classes, he had to repeat a lot of exams because he couldn't concentrate that much. So I wouldn't advise you to take a full-time job, because it's very hard to manage to deep that knowledge as well, and also like working properly. But we have also a classmate who has a part-time job, and he could manage it, like doing the part-time job and the university, and get very good grades. But it's very important that his schedule is very flexible, because sometimes he's not working for weeks, but in other weeks he like working more. So you cannot balance the working in 1 week. It's more about like in 1 month or something like this. And we also have a classmate who has some loan. I won't advise you to take loan because of the master, but it's also possible and he can manage it. We can also help him. But yeah, that's another possibility for covering the expenses.
Yeah, and as for the countries, like what to expect, like how is like living there, as how expensive or not it is. Like for us, I think Hungary, at least for the like non-Hungarian ones or the European ones, I would say we expected it to be like a really cheap country. I would say it's not the case maybe anymore, but it's not that expensive that you cannot afford living there or anything. Then Madrid, the accommodation can get expensive. So also like I joined the advice of checking it with time, like in everywhere, but mainly in Madrid. But living there, I would say like it's not especially expensive as compared to other cities or countries in Europe. And then Bordeaux, it's true that might be expensive, but at the same time, there are like a lot of helps. So for putting in perspective, you have the possibility to be in a residence that is like a public or state residence, and it's cheaper. In the very same residence, there is like a canteen or lunchroom in which the meals are €3 or €1 if you manage to apply, and then you get like a cheaper discount. So the city itself is it's more expensive than the others, but it also have like a lot of help in order to make it more feasible to live there. Yeah, and then we also wanted to speak about everything that is not academically related to the master, because it's also a really good and important thing of the master, that is like in the end, like the people you meet. Like we think this master gives you the opportunity to learn about other cultures and see how other people live, because in the end you have like people from different continents living together and traveling together from city to city during 2 years, and it kind of really helped to make like strong bonds with them and see what is different between all of them and what's in common. And I think it can also be quite surprising what you can learn about how other people live, and then the things you can apply for yourself. So yeah.
Yes, and in our group we are 10, and we have a little habit. Like if somebody has a birthday, like we sing a happy birthday song to him or her. And it's usually like everybody sings this melody, but the lyrics is in our own language. So usually I sing in Hungarian the happy birthday, I like sing it in Spanish, and it's like we have the same melody but in different lyrics, and it's quite good. So we have this kind of like common but also different like international things. So I think it's a very good opportunity to find the common things and then make a habit from it. Yes.
Monica and
thank you.
Alejandro, thank you very much for sharing these insights. Actually, you highlighted quite useful aspects of socializing and difficulties that you needed to tackle during your studies. And I hope that these will be very useful for future applicants. Really, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
And we have one more testimony to go. We also invited Sithan Satanik, who is the part of the new cohort which started in September, and he already started as an Erasmus Mundus scholarship holder. He will be also sharing his experiences so far with the program. Go on, Sithan, if you are here with us.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can confirm that we can hear you.
Yeah, so my name's Siddhant and I'm a first year IPCV student. So like Daniel said, I started in September and I've been here for almost 3 months now. And what that also means is that last year I was in your position applying to different masters, and I know how confusing and stressful this time can be. So I wanted to kind of highlight some points that I thought would be useful for me when I was at your position. So first off, I want to highlight kind of why the IPCV program, what was my motivation to apply, and why I chose this program to come to. So we've already covered so many different aspects of the IPCV program. There's so many advantages with the courses, the professors, the scholarships, the 3 different countries. But what drew me specifically to this program were the research opportunities that I found. So as an undergraduate, I had some research experience and I really liked it. And I knew it was something that I wanted to pursue further. And I was looking for master's programs that would allow me to do this. And in the IPCV program, you have 2 main research experiences, I would say. One is the TRDP project, which is a 3-semester long project that you'll do for the first 3 semesters and present at the end. And the other is your master's thesis, which is, again, a semester-long internship or thesis that you do. And these are 2 things that I saw when applying and I really liked. But what I'd also like to add is there's so many other smaller opportunities that I found after joining the program that I didn't know about when I was applying. So what I mean by this is, for example, at PASMAN here last month, we had an open research day where different labs from the university just came down to the auditorium, set up a table, and they were open for informal discussion. So if you just go up to any professor, talk to them about the research, talk to the PhD students, and just kind of have an informal discussion about your interests, what they do, what they're working on. And I found this really helpful because there's so many different cool things going on at our university, and it was just an opportunity to see and understand what they were doing. And it was actually through this open day that I got talking to a professor, and I ended up choosing my TRDP project based on my discussion I had with them. So opportunities like this are really common in IPCV. And another really important fact that I want to highlight is the professors are very approachable. So these professors, they're really friendly. You can talk to them anytime after class and just strike up an informal discussion about any topic that you're interested in or you wanted to know about. And what's really great is that these professors are top researchers in their field. They're publishing at the best conferences. For example, Professor Karach just won the Cyclothlon, which is an international competition, and I see him twice a week, and I get to talk to him whenever. So this kind of interaction, I feel, is really helpful to build a better understanding of the career path that you want to have, and it provides a lot of insights. So what I would say is, if you know you want to do research, or if you're thinking about or considering research as a career, this is a really good place to be. I know there will also be some people who aren't interested in research and might be wondering what's in it for them. What I would say is that if you're interested in computer vision as a field, but even for the industry, this field is a field that's very fast evolving and it changes every year. So even if you don't want to end up conducting research yourself, you need to be in the loop with whatever the current research is, or else you'll just fall behind in the industry. And the IPCV program, I feel, really equips you to do this. So
sorry.
Yeah, so I had a couple more things I wanted to say. So
okay, go on.
From my experience so far, again, what I really want to highlight is the cohort. My batchmates are really nice, friendly people. They come from so many different backgrounds, both in terms of demographic backgrounds and academic backgrounds. So we have students who've just graduated and they're at the top of their class. We also have other students who have 4 to 5 years of work experience. They've already published many different papers, and we're all together in the same batch. And this allows you to learn so many new things, kind of broadens your insights when you talk to all of these people. And you learn a lot of, I feel, non-academic qualities, but these qualities are just as important to your future career, I feel. So, okay, one more thing I'd like to add is about the courses. So the courses are very practical, hands-on. Obviously, there is a theory component, but I don't think until now there's anything I've learned in theory that I haven't had to implement in practice, be it through an assignment or a project or a lab session. So it's a very hands-on course. And because of this, you have the theory component, you have practicals, and you have other projects and commitments yourself. So this is a very academically challenging course, as we've covered, but I feel that, as Professor Fabian said, this is what equips you to kind of do really well in whatever career you choose in the future. So that's a good thing. And what I'd like to end with is what I feel that makes the IPCV program so much different and I would say better than other master's programs is the opportunities it offers. You're at 3 different universities, you get to interact with 3 different batches of professors, students, and the networks you can build, the people you can talk to, the experiences that they have. There's just so much that you can learn and utilize for your own career or your own ambitions. But this is something that will not be handed to you. No one's going to come up to you and just offer you an opportunity. These opportunities are provided and there, but you need to go for it yourself and pursue them, which is what the IPCV program allows you to do. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sitan, for the valuable insights. And actually, I'm especially glad that you mentioned the Cybathlon contest, which was a great success for us. And I think it implements a lot from the knowledge that is being taught within the framework of the IPCVai program. So it's a good example for us how cutting edge this program and how beneficial aspects it deals with. And we shall start the 3rd major block of the open day. It will be, or it is going to be my turn to share with you some important pieces of information about the application and the application procedure and the finances of the programs, including scholarship opportunities. I'm extremely thankful for you for sticking around, still sticking around. I know that you are receiving a lot of information, and this webinar is quite extensive as it is. But in order to be successful, you need to familiarize yourselves with the administrative issues as well. So this is going to be an important part of the presentation. And yeah, about the requirements. In order to successfully apply, in order to be selected, there are certain requirements that need to be kept in front of your eyes. First and most importantly, you need to have a bachelor's degree in your hand to get into the program. That doesn't mean that you can't apply without having the degree already in your hand. You will need to then submit a proof from your institution, signed by your institution, that you are going to get the degree by the end of the academic year. This degree, it has been already mentioned, shall be somehow related to engineering science, mathematics, computer science, or signal processing. It's important that your grade point average, your overall scores during this bachelor program shall be at least tending towards good. Because as already has been mentioned several times, it's quite a demanding program, and it is our interest to select the candidates with the most interesting and most valuable academic backgrounds and skills. And also so it's also an important factor that you should have an adequate knowledge of English language, both oral and concerning both the oral and the written part, and it shall be equivalent to the according to the European standards, to the B2 level. And this is going to be also checked during the online interviews, during the selection procedure. About the selection procedure, by the way, there are going to be 3 main rounds. The first round is somehow a tech check, an eligibility check, where the professors, and basically the selection committee is going to thoroughly check out your documents which were submitted through the online platform, and only those can proceed to the next step that could ensure that they attached everything and their papers are just fine. According to their papers, they are just eligible for the program. And then it will be followed by the second round, which will be the pre-selection stage, where also, the relevant academic records are taken into consideration, which includes also knowledge about image and signal processing, programming skills, and mathematics. And at this stage, also, your motivation letters will be thoroughly checked, which are also important in that sense that, as I mentioned already, we are seeking for the best candidates for this scholarship program, as it is considered as a scholarship of excellence. And the third round, if you are good to go so far, then it will be followed by a third round and the final round, which will be an online interview conducted by one of the professors of the IPCV program. And this will count as your actually your entrance exam. Here, as already we discussed, many factors will be asked from you, from academic histories through motivation, and your English knowledge will be measured also through this process. Actually, there are two main ways to get into this program. The one, and I think that for everyone, the most interesting one is the Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters Scholarship. The bad news that it is offered only to a limited number of applicants. And of course, it is our intention to select the ones with the highest scores. In that case, if you win, if you will be awarded with the Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters Scholarship, it will mean that you will need to pay no participation fee concerning the program. So your tuition, you will not need to pay anything for your studies. Your studies will be free. This is a good deal. And the other part of the good deal is that you are going to receive not less than 1,400 euros monthly as a scholarship that you can basically spend on anything you want, but especially you will need to finance your accommodation, the cost of expenses related to the 3 countries from this. But this is a really good amount. The students already mentioned that those who've been awarded with the Erasmus Mundus scholarship, they don't really need to work beside their studies, because from this scholarship amount, a student can have a very convenient stay at either of the cities. So it is a really good opportunity, but as I mentioned, it is only offered to several candidates. The other way of getting into the program is to self-finance your studies. There is a cost of participation. It's divided into 2 categories, 4,500 euros per year for those people coming from a program country, and 9,000 euro for those students who are coming from a non-partner country. Now you might ask, what does this division mean? Who shall pay the larger sum and who shall pay the lesser sum? Well, it is divided basically in a broader sense into EU countries and not EU countries. If you are from the EU, you will fall into the category of program country students, and if you are not from the EU, you will fall into the category of partner country students. But I kindly ask you, everyone, to get it checked with, like by going to the website of the IPCV program, IPCV.eu. You can check thoroughly whether, in your case, you belong to, so which category you belong to. All right. Let's move on. Here on this slide, you will see what actually either the Erasmus Mundus scholarship or the participation cost cover. It covers the tuition fee. It gives you access to all courses and course contents, course materials, workshops that are being held at either of the universities. It provides you with assistance from the point of student services. It allows you to use the different facilities of the universities, like libraries or other IT infrastructure. And it also covers you with a health insurance. In this slide, I will talk about more related to the other scholarship opportunities. We already mentioned the Erasmus Mundus scholarship, but we didn't mention that for those applicants who will become self-financed students, there is another possibility, another scholarship, the Erasmus Plus scholarship. This is for, as you can see, it is only for self-funded students. It is to cover your studies in the second and third semester while you are abroad. And you can, in the fourth semester, you can cover the internship part as well. The rule is that altogether you can get coverage for 12 months altogether from the Erasmus Plus scholarship. And application is possible either towards the Pázmány Péter Catholic University, towards the Autonomous University of Madrid, and also towards the University of Bordeaux. And there are also other national scholarship and industrial scholarship. But about these, you can get more information only after your arrival, when these will be announced in a form of calls. These differ year by year, so you will find more information about these after you successfully get admission to the program. This is the most important slide. The application deadline is the 6th of February 2025. Please don't miss that. That's one of the main criteria and main requirements of a successful application. And on this slide, we also listed, we provided you with a checklist, like what kind of documents you will need to attach in order to get a complete and to submit a complete application. It includes like a CV. We ask it in a Europass template. It shall be written in a Europass template. Bachelor's degree, academic transcripts. The importance of motivation letters has been already, motivation letter has been already mentioned. And actually, we ask applicants to submit also 2 recommendation letters concerning, I mean, related to their previous academic history or work experience. English language certificate, ID photo, passport copy. These are all important information, but through the platform, you will see this checklist as well. You can meet this checklist, and please make sure you submit everything on time. Here you can find more information about how you can reach us. The website is the IPCV.eu. You will find 2 email addresses on this side. One leads to the central, it's the address of the central office. The head of the consortium is the University of Bordeaux, and they are They are able to provide you with details about the application and the application procedure. Should you feel stuck somehow, or should you encounter any problem with your applications, please feel free to contact them. But we also put our email address to this slide as well. This is the international.office@itkey.ppkey.hu. This is the central address of the Pázmány Péter Catholic University, because this is going to be the first stage of after your arrival. You will end up in Budapest. So this is going to be the first milestone. There are plenty of things concerning which we can give you detailed information. You can also reach out to us in social media. We have a LinkedIn page, a Facebook page, and an Instagram page. We want to strongly persuade you to like our content, share our content, and spread the word about this prestigious and fantastic program that we have. And as a closure, we have prepared another Q&A section. This is more like a general Q&A section. We also selected several questions that have been sent by you earlier. And actually, let's go through this, and I will try to answer each and all of these. The first one: I have done my bachelor's in English. Do I still need proof of English proficiency? The answer is no. If the medium of instruction during your studies, during your bachelor studies was English, then you don't need to have a special language certificate, and you don't need to submit one. It's enough to get any sort of proof stating that the language of instruction during your studies was English. I have an English language proficiency letter from the university I graduated from. Is that acceptable? No, unfortunately not. Universities cannot certify the level of English knowledge of a candidate. If the medium of instruction was not English throughout the studies, then we ask the applicants, participants to submit a language certificate exam, and basically all kind of international language certificates like TOEFL, IELTS are acceptable. Cambridge, Oxford, there are plenty of internationally recognized language exam centers, and their certificates are acceptable by the coordinators of the program. Is a Duolingo English test certificate accepted as a language certificate? Again, my answer is no. Unfortunately, we require a more professional proof of language knowledge from the applicants. What is the minimum number of reference letters? Actually, there are no minimum, both the minimum and the maximum number of the reference letters are 2. We require 2 letters exactly that you should submit. It can be your former professor who has an insight to your academic advancement. It can be a supervisor at a job that you have conducted earlier who has an insight to your professional experience. But the main point is that we require 2 reference letters. Should both recommendation letters come from my academic supervisors, or can one of them from my employer? Yeah, this is basically what I just said earlier. At least we require at least one from the academic, highlighting your academic advancement, and we require one more. It can be also related to your academic. It can reflect also your academic advancement, but also it can be from your employer too. I'm in my final year of my bachelor studies. set to graduate in June. Is there a particular format for the certificate of expected graduation? No, there are no certain templates for that. We accept an official signed and stamped letter from your university stating the time of your expected graduation. That is sufficient for submitting the application. However, please note that you can only start the IPCV AI Master's program with your bachelor's diploma in your hand. So without that, it will not be possible. So make sure you receive the hard copy before starting your actual master studies. Does the IPCVai Erasmus Mundus scholarship cover visa application costs for applicants? That's an interesting one. I would definitely say yes, it does cover it. The only problem is that scholarship holders will not receive any scholarship before getting accepted to the program and before enrolling for the first semester of the program. That means that we cannot finance in advance the application of your visa, the cost of the visa application. However, we feel that the Erasmus Mundus scholarship is quite a large amount, and in that sense, it I can safely state that it covers also the visa application fee, which is not a huge sum. Is the Erasmus Plus scholarship available to IPCVI students? Yes, it is available, but as it was already mentioned, it's only available for those students who don't get the Erasmus Mundus scholarship. You can't get two scholarship labeled as Erasmus at the same time. One is the Erasmus Mundus, the other one is the Erasmus Plus. The Erasmus Plus is for self-funded applicants. When will the results be announced? I would say, since it's a quite long selection procedure, we receive a lot of applications each year. The announcement of the results will not be available until the beginning of May, mid-May. That's the earliest time when we will announce the results. What are the selection criteria? Is the admission process holistic, or do you only consider the academic records of the applicant? No, actually, it's quite holistic. During the online interview, you can get many questions concerning your motivation, your English knowledge, your previous work experience, your previous study experience. So they examining your advancement quite thoroughly. Are there any other scholarship programs available apart from Erasmus Mundus and Erasmus Plus? My answer is yes, there are plenty of scholarships, but these are being announced on the spot, and there are certain calls, and so most of the time students need to find these on their own. So the academic and administrative staff can mostly assist you with the Erasmus Mundus and the Erasmus Plus scholarships. The other ones, we would be glad if you can seek and find during your studies. Will it be possible to work while studying, specifically if I work within the same field? I think this was answered by the current students of the cohorts. They highlighted it that this program is quite demanding, and that's why it is not recommended to work beside your studies. And as you could hear, there was plenty of students who tried to do that, and not each and all of them managed to connect their work life with their academic life, because it's really hard to these both take up a full and require a full role and a lot of time and a lot of dedication. So it's not advisable to work beside your studies. Is the program available fully online or in a hybrid format? No, unfortunately, this program is only available if you participate in this journey together with the other fellow mates of yours. Like you start in Budapest, you go then to Madrid, then to Bordeaux, and you will spend the 4th semester of the program all over the world, depending on your choice. Online and hybrid formats are not supported and are not available. Do the 3 universities provide students housing or dorms for IPCVai students? As far as I know, dorms are available at each universities. However, the amount of available places are limited in all 3 main cities. But the administrative staff is supportive towards finding alternative opportunities for housing, and they support the students to find an appropriate place to stay. We are nearing towards the end of the section, the end of this webinar. I wanted to project some student testimonies that we received from former IPCV students. You can see them. I think all in all, they all agree that this is a wonderful opportunity with cutting edge learning material and very up-to-date curriculum. So everything is very beneficial for your advancement, both in private life and in your career. Many students choose to pursue PhD studies after finishing this program. Some of them decide to remain in the industry. Some of them decide to stay in their internship place after writing their final thesis. They get job offers from multiple companies from all over the world. So it is an extremely good opportunity, and I just persuade you to make the final decision and submit your application. So, as you can read it on the slide, marketable knowledge plus lifetime experience. This is what IPCVai Erasmus Mundus is aiming for. And I really hope that you will be able to experience it on your own. There is nothing more left. I would like to thank you for your kind attention and participation. I know that it was a long session, but I really hope that you gathered many fruitful and useful pieces of information, and this will help you to submit your application. And should there will be any other concerns, questions from your side, don't forget that you can contact us via email later on. There is plenty of time until the deadline of the application, which is the 6th of February. However, please make sure that you don't leave your application for the final days, because if you encounter any problems, then you might not have enough time to tackle these and to obtain all the documents necessary for the application. So we just persuade you to do it as soon as possible if you are committed to select IPCVai. I would like to thank you one more time for joining. I would like to thank for the presentations from the professors, from the students, and we are looking forward receiving your applications in the coming future, and see you in September in Hungary. Goodbye.